Before we get started, let's just go over the materials that we're going to need for today's project. You're going to need a sheet of plain white paper. You're going to also need a smaller piece of plain white paper. You're going to need some scissors and some glue. You're going to need a pencil, just a plain ordinary pencil. And you're going to also want a few different colors. We're going to be drawing some arms and nose, eyes, that sort of thing on our bunny. And if you don't have colored pencils, maybe you have crayons or markers. Those will work too. Or just a regular pencil will do the job too. You're also going to need a cardboard tube. Certain that every home has one of these. It's an empty toilet paper roll. This is going to become the rabbit's body. Okay, so the way to begin is to take your large sheet of plain white paper and place it on the table in front of you. Then you're going to take your cardboard tube and you're going to place it at the top of your paper in the center. So you have even amounts of plain white paper on either side, to the left and to the right. You're going to hold your tube in place with your thumbs and then reach back here and lift the white paper so that it begins to curl around your tube. You're going to roll your tube all the way to the bottom edge of your paper. Keep rolling until you get to the bottom. And then you want to hold that closed with your thumbs. This is your seam. Okay, you want to hold your seam closed. And then if you go to one end of your tube, you're going to see a lot of extra paper. You're going to use your finger and you're going to begin to push that extra paper down inside of your tube. Okay? We're going to turn our tubes to the other end. We're going to do the same thing with this bit of extra paper. We're going to push it down inside. Okay. When we do this, what it does is it wraps the paper around our tube nice and snug so that it doesn't want to come off. Okay. And just like that, without any cutting or gluing or taping, we've managed to take our cardboard tube and turn it white. So now it's our bunny's body. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our smaller piece of white paper and place that in front of us. Take your pencil and we're going to draw our bunny's two ears, okay? I'm going to use a long curved line. So I'm going to start here at the bottom edge of my paper and I'm going to draw vertically, making a curved line like that. Now at this end I'm going to begin another line and I want it to start here where this line ended. And I'm going to draw another curved line, but it curves in the opposite direction. And as I come to the bottom edge of my paper, I don't necessarily want those lines to touch because this end is going to get attached to my cardboard tube. Okay, so I want a nice flat edge here. I'm going to repeat this and draw my second ear. I'm going to start at the bottom with a curved line that is vertical. When I get to the top, I'm going to come down with a curved line, curving in the opposite direction. And then I don't want my lines to touch on that end. Okay? At this point, you're going to be using your scissors. You're going to cut off this little extra piece, and I'll show you what to do with that in just a moment. And then use your scissors and just separate the two ears. It's much easier to cut out a shape if it's not attached to another shape. So you're just going to take your scissors and one at a time you will begin cutting out your ears. Follow along your pencil lines, okay? So you'll cut those out, and when you're done, they're going to look something like this. You've got your two little ears, and with this extra bit of paper, we're going to make our bunny's tail. All you have to do is crumple it up into a spherical shape. That's the shape of a ball. Okay, a three-dimensional circle is a sphere. So there we have it. By crumpling it up, we get a little bit of texture, and that is going to look really good for our bunny's tail, don't you think? A little fluffy cotton tail. Okay. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our cardboard tube back over in front of us. And you see our seam? It's still there. We want it to go in the back, okay? We don't want the seam to be facing the front because we want our bunny's face to be nice and smooth and clean. Okay. What we're going to do next is we're going to add a little bit of color to the inside of our bunny's ears. I'd like for them to look a little bit pink inside. So I'm going to come in here with my pink colored pencil, and I'm going to draw the same shape of my bunny's ear, but a little bit smaller on the inside. So I'm doing my curved vertical line up, my curved vertical line down, and then inside of here I'm just going to fill it in pink. Now this is optional. Maybe you don't want your bunny to have pink ears on the inside. You don't have to do this. It's up to you. But if you're going to do it, it's best to do this before you glue the ears on, because at this point your ears are flat on the table. It's much easier to draw on something when it's flat on the table. Okay? All right. Now with our glue, what we're going to do is we just want a dot of glue. Okay, a dot is a lot. Ooh, that might be too much. That's a big dot. Just a little dot. You see how I'm placing the glue down here where the straight edge is? Okay, this is the same side that has my pretty pink inside of my ears. That's the side that gets the glue too. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them to the inside of this tube. So I'm going to find the edge, and I'm just going to tuck the ear right there on the inside of the edge. Now I like to press and hold for about 10 seconds because then I know that my ear is not going to fall off. If I'm pushing these two pieces together and holding them for about 10 seconds, that usually does the trick. And then beside that ear, I'm going to place my bunny's other ear. And if they overlap a little bit, that's perfectly fine. I imagine in real life a bunny's ears could easily overlap, right? Depends on which way they were turning their ears. Okay. Very good. Now, if you have any pencil lines along the edge of your ears, you can erase them before you glue them on. I try to keep my pencil lines to the back, so that becomes my back side of my paper if I have pencil lines. That way I'm just seeing the front. Okay, now here's where my colored pencils get to shine again. I'm going to bring over my blue pencil, and I'm going to give my bunny some little blue eyes. I guess, you know, as always, you can make your eyes however you want, but I'm thinking maybe they should line up one eye under each ear. And remember, this cardboard tube is going to be your bunny's head and body. So you want the eyes toward the top, not down here in the middle. That's where your bunny's tummy is, down here. So if you imagined dividing this tube in half, the top half should be your bunny's head. Okay, so just underneath the eyes, in between there, I'm going to do a little upside down triangle. I'm going to give my bunny a little pink nose, and then I'm going to use my black colored pencil, and I'm going to do a little curved line coming down from the bottom point of that triangle, one to the left and one to the right, to make my bunny smile. Believe it or not, we're so close to being done. I'm going to now draw on my bunny's arms. This is going to be really simple. I'm going to start way over here on the side of my tube, and I'm going to curve a line into the front. I'm going to go around like a half circle, and I'm going to curve my line back to the side. Here's what it looks like on the side. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on this side of my bunny and give my bunny two arms. I'm going to start over here with a curved line. I'm going to turn it into a half circle here, and then I'm going to curve my line all the way back to the side. And when I do that, what I've done is I've made two little arms for my bunny. What do you think? You like it? Now down here on the bottom, I could leave it blank. I could draw a line down the middle and make it look like he had two legs. If you do that, he's going to sort of look like he's standing up, right? I could draw little feet down here. Let me show you what that would look like. Some bunny feet down here. Okay. whatever you'd like to do at this point, as far as personalizing your artwork will be really cool. So you could add like little fingers, little toes. You could give your bunny jewelry. You could use some extra paper, any of your little scraps, and you could give her a little bow or make him a bow tie. You see where I'm going with this? You could add some eyelashes. I know those always look really cute. Okay, so what do we do with this? All right, that's our bunny's tail. We're going to turn our bunnies over so that we're looking at the back. And we want to kind of mash our bunny's tail so that we have a flattened edge. We want one side to be a little bit flat, okay, so that it will glue better to the back. And then we're going to add a dot of glue right here. And then we're going to push the flat edge against the glue and just hold it in place for about 10 seconds. Okay, and then when we're done, we have a very happy Easter bunny. Great job, you guys. Hey, have an adult at home take a picture and send it to me. I'd love to see your artwork.